Hi guys, so we're out here next to the Houses of Parliament and we've got these Brexit protests going on. A lot of people here, a lot of people. Maybe about 1,200, 1,500 people here. I'm going to ask them a few questions and see what their opinion is on the European superstate that is being created.
So what do you think of the EU's attempts to create a superstate or a superpower of the whole European continent?
It's shocking, but what blows my mind is that more people don't realise and more people aren't speaking out against it. They're like sheep. They've got some sort of Stockholm syndrome that they think it's the EU's the way forward. And it's frightening. We've got nation states losing their sovereignty, giving it away to the EU. And I don't understand how more people aren't angry about it.
I took it for granted that I was a European. I'm part of the European Union. The UK has been part of the European Union for a long time. And it would never have occurred to me to question that. It's given us huge amounts of benefits. Freedom of travel, freedom of movement is obviously a major one. Of course, all the talk now is economics, but it's all the intricate cooperation on all levels. Social, cultural, arts, music, science cooperation, security, the arrest warrant. It's kind of, the list is endless, really.
So it's creating its own superstate in a way.
I think the Leavers accuse us of Project Fear, and they're creating their own Project Fear about some huge superstate. It's kind of nonsense, really.
You're absolutely right to pick on the fact that the EU are trying to create this superstate. It's a failed political project, and it's about time that they realise that the people don't want it anymore. We voted in 1975, I was only a little lad in 1975, but the referendum that happened in 1975 was all about joining a common market, a trading bloc. There was no talk about a federal Europe, there was no talk about ever closer union. And that's what it's become.
We've been in the European Union for well over 40 years. It's not a superstate. They're not forming an army. I think it's myth. And don't forget, we already have NATO, and that works very well together anyway. We will always have our own individual armies, regardless of what goes on. And the world is a very insecure place at the moment.
Bollocks to Theresa May's deal and bollocks to Brexit!
So what do you think of these attempts by the EU to create a sort of superstate, an EU army, all this stuff?
Well, you see, what's happened, because Germany lost the Second World War, they've never given up. This has been orchestrated a lot by the Germans, because the German people feel so guilty about the Second World War, which they shouldn't really, right? But they don't want to be classed as German. They want to be European, and they want the rest of us to be European.
Hey guys, I've heard these arguments. The one about the EU army is quite an interesting one, isn't it? Because people say, why do you need an EU army if you've got NATO? Well, NATO is a North Atlantic treaty organisation. It involves America and their strategic interests. It doesn't always coincide with the strategic interests of Europe, who are facing Russian adventurism on their eastern border. So I think the idea of the EU army, if America is going to withdraw increasingly from their commitments to NATO, that strengthens the argument for European military to coordinate more. It could never be an EU army, because who would control it? It would be like it is now.
I don't know that I believe in a superstate. I believe in countries doing what we have done within the European Union, which is talk about what are the best way forward for our workers, for product safety, consumer safety, for environmental needs.
Because
that doesn't need a superstate, and the only people really who are talking about a superstate are on the far right. Nobody in Europe is talking about a superstate.
The reason why we're all here is because we've had enough of that lot over there ignoring the will of the people. We've got the biggest constitutional crisis that's ever going to hit Britain about to happen, because this lot in Parliament are not listening to the people. They've got to wake up. They've got to realise that they're there for us, not the other way round. We've been conned by the political class since the early 70s, and it's about time. It's about time they woke up. They woke up to the conning. We're fed up of it.
People voted the other way. If people voted to remain in the EU, would you, as leavers, would you respect that decision?
Personally, I would have respected the decision. What the majority of the people wanted is what should be done in the country.
So what do you think of the attempts by the Remainers to reverse the decision?
I think they're traitors. I think they're traitors to the British people. I think they're disgusting. I think all these people standing under that flag are disgraceful.
And
they're not British anymore.
So if the country voted or had a majority, not a supermajority, but a majority to remain in the EU, would you then be also for a supermajority?
Well, that is a good question, because for me personally, no. I'm a Remainer, so I would say that's good enough for me. But at the time it happened, I think most people assumed that it would be that kind of a vote. So when the result came out, which was 52-48 for leave, everybody went, oh, that's interesting.
How many votes are you going to have? Right? Oh, if you don't get the right result, if my football team doesn't get the right result on Saturday, what do I say? I was unhappy with that, I wanted to replay it. You don't do that. You have a vote and you go with the majority. And this is what, like, if we'd have lost, I wouldn't be here today. I'd say, well, okay, that was it, that was the vote. But they won't accept it. Right? They want to stay part. And the thing is, it wouldn't be so bad if the EU was a fine, fair organisation. It is a dictatorship. They want to make us a little satellite state with all the others as part of Europe, right? And want to take away our. If you read the Treaty of Lisbon, it explains it all.
So that was it for today. A lot of different opinions, but as you can see, democracy fine at work here. Like and subscribe for some more content like this. Peace out.